We have just received some major leaks regarding the story for GTA 6, which was posted online for a total of 8 minutes over on Twitter, Reddit, and Telegram before they were taken down by Rockstar Games. We managed to get the 21 screenshots of the story and a lot of the script before Rockstar took them down, but of course, if you guys don't want any storyline or mission spoilers, now's your chance to click off the video as all of this is confirmed 100% legit. I'm gonna read from the official images one by one, which have details on characters, the missions, and the overall storyline for GTA 6. It's also good to mention that these pages are for the first opening 2 missions, which also consist of a flashback that you're in control of. So starting off with the first official, it is the true beginning of the story, the prologue, set in the Caribbean coastal setting as the sun sets. It establishes the central mission, extract the kid, which is known as Henry Patel, and the money within 48 hours or face serious consequences. We're introduced to the main players, their dynamics, and the first threads of betrayal. The mission is to capture Henry Patel, a 14-year-old son of the jailed drug lord Santiago Patel. The secondary goal is to secure the money. Multiple criminal factions may also be after the boy, and the team is concerned about entering Vice Beach, where many enemies and ops could lie in wait. Lucia, of course, questions everything, the plan, the route, the idea of being unopposed, but unfortunately gets shut down by nearly everyone. Lucia and Jason are regrouping after a violent, high-stakes situation. They're injured, emotionally raw, but still pushing forward. Jason mentions a chopper is coming for him, and Lucia, stubborn but loyal, decides to go with him. They share a surprisingly tender moment as Lucia thanks Jason, says she owes him, and asks for help. They walk together and he reveals minor injuries from earlier. Their banter turns warm, Lucia jokes, and Jason opens up slightly. Just then, their satellite phone buzzes. Casper, a contact and ally, calls in, saying that the chopper is 120 meters away. They get picked up and head inside a building where they're greeted by Martinez, who mocks Jason sarcastically. Lucia stays guarded and vague, even as Martinez probes into her background. Lucia admits to killing someone she used to work with. She's cagey about her past and who she trusts. There's also talks of being set up and betrayed. Jason hints that they were used for the heavy lifting but never paid, which obviously means the system is corrupt, with rival factions killing each other to survive. Lucia and Jason board the chopper after their extraction, joining Casper, who greets them with sarcasm. Once inside, they finally have a moment to breathe. Lucia drops her guard, but not for long, as emotions rise to the surface and painful truths are revealed. Jason mentions Port Gellahorn, which is their next destination, after reaching Vice Beach HQ. Lucia awkwardly jokes about splitting her money with Jason if she dies. Jason counters with "you'll have insurance," lightly teasing her, but the tenderness lands. Lucia, Jason, and Henry arrive at a drop-off point near the John Rivers as part of their extraction mission, but tension brews as Lucia doesn't trust the situation, suspecting a trap. They prepare the boy Henry for what's next, dressing him in protective gear. The prologue ends, and then we jump into a flashback with Jason's first encounter with Lucia back in Haiti. Lucia connects the Alpha team with comms. She's the tactical anchor in the moment. They document Henry's identity with videos, suggesting official transfer protocol. Prologue ends, setting the stage for the rest of the game's storyline. The flashback begins, placing Jason in Haiti, crouched with his gun, about to meet Lucia for the first time. The flashback deepens as Lucia is fighting her way through a building full of hostiles trying to locate Jason. She clears rooms with ruthless efficiency. Along the way, she finds a child with a gun, later revealed to be Henry, and also finds Jason tied up, beaten, and left in a chair. The group quickly regathers, suits up, and escapes. This is their origin moment for their partnership for the rest of the game. Lucia mutters they did do this to themselves as she walks over bloody bodies, implying that the raid or fight was a consequence of the enemy's choices. We get a glimpse of Lucia's tactical protocol: disguises, ammo, checks, quick exits. She's done this many times. Jason confirms that Brian cleared the area, which gives a clue to their broader team network. Olivia gives navigation, leading the trio to an abandoned nearby building. Back in the present, the mission intensifies as Lucia and Jason prepare to breach a hostile compound. Tensions rise as emotional baggage and tactical stakes collide. This page features a powerful emotional confrontation between the two, revealing cracks in their relationship and setting up a dangerous mission ahead. The mission location is Onkenfunky Swamp. Brian chose it for tactical reasons as it provides a clear shot but is remote and vulnerable. Lucia sees Jason for the first time in years. Her reaction is subtle but emotional. She sighs, her focus wavers as she tries to maintain control. There's clear evidence of a romantic past that ended unresolved. A female sniper in the moment opens fire yelling, "You came here, huh?" suggesting that she knows Lucia personally. Lucia executes a rescue mission under extreme pressure, pulling Jason from a knife fight with Phillips by literally running over him with a truck. What follows is a chaotic, high-speed escape from police and enemies that ends in a dangerous leap off a burning bridge. Lucia drives through chaos, dodging pedestrians, dumpsters, and eventually colliding with oncoming trucks. The bridge ahead is on fire and they're boxed in. The escape hinges on a daring plan: jump from the truck before it crashes. They all survive the leap, but barely. Lucia is seen cradling Jason and Henry in the wreckage, exhausted and limping. The mission is falling apart as Lucia, Jason, and Henry are surrounded, injured, and on the run. They're forced to fight through the city streets, dodge cops and civilians, and keep moving through pain and exhaustion. It's chaos, and it doesn't stop as the page rewinds slightly to show what led up to Lucia hitting Phillips with the truck in the first place. The streets are chaotic. Civilians, dead bodies, cop cars, trucks, and pedestrians make for a volatile escape environment as Lucia keeps commanding the momentum, yelling for Jason and Henry to keep moving. This group is out of tactical options, forced to rely on instinct, brute force, and guts. Her truck crash into Philip is not just aggressive, it's desperate, but it works. The chase continues inside a building filled with police as Lucia, Jason, and Henry are cornered, outgunned, and exhausted. With every escape route blocked, they're left with no choice but to jump across rooftops. It's a fast, brutal, and unrelenting sequence that pushes all three characters to their limits. Lucia kills two more officers inside and slides a knife to Jason, showing team synergy within the combat. They escape through roof hopping, which ramps up to the cinematic tension. The building they enter is unfamiliar, but the location has a stairwell and Indian music playing, giving a grounded, culturally textured setting. Jason and Lucia are both heavily wounded, breathing hard but still pushing forward. We rewind slightly to a high-octane chase sequence with Jason and Lucia behind the wheel, gunning after Phillips, who is taken off in a stolen car. Chaos erupts as bullets fly, cars flip, and trust fractures. Jason and Lucia and Henry face heavy police resistance while Phillips turns rogue. The stakes escalate dramatically, especially when Phillips crashes into police vehicles and Jason's past starts to unravel. The radio is prolonged, forcing Lucia to manually call Olivia, who gives her frantic directions. A police car flips right in front of them, causing further panic. Gunshots start to hit the car, and the tension between Jason and Lucia boils over when she tries to jump out of the car mid-mission to shoot Phillips. Jason tells her, "You're not doing this again, Lucia, back down," highlighting a repeated behavioral pattern, possibly reckless actions driven by trauma in their past missions. Jason eventually forces Phillips' car into a crash, with Lucia finishing the job. Lucia, Jason, and Henry are cornered, exhausted, and hunted into a collapsing escape plan. They're barely holding it together as they stumble through crowds, injuries worsening. With Phillips still a threat, Lucia finishes him off, then takes over the mission. A fiery car crash, a helicopter overhead, and public chaos mark one of the most dramatic turns so far. The city has descended into total anarchy. Random civilians, cops, and a circling helicopter frame the panic. The trio drives off a bridge in a truck on fire and survives. The police crash into each other, giving Lucia and Jason just enough time to jump. Lucia with Jason in her lap as he starts to lose consciousness, whispering to him to stay awake. Henry, non-aware of just how extreme the mission is, begins to emotionally process what is happening. The team takes shelter in a random woman's home, severely injured and trying to regroup. Jason is barely conscious as Lucia is drained and in pain, and Henry is frightened but functional. They hide from authorities as helicopters and cops patrol the streets. There's a brief moment of stillness, but only just. Tension is rising and Lucia is beginning to collapse emotionally and physically. Lucia and Jason manage to dodge more officers, killing them swiftly even while physically depleted. They enter a random apartment, showing they've completely lost their support network. Lucia is losing blood fast and Jason is almost unconscious. The truck explosion from earlier has thrown the city into disarray. Fire, police, helicopters, and bystanders are everywhere. Despite it all, Lucia remains committed to finishing the mission and saving the boy. Lucia tends to Jason and Henry's injuries in a temporary hideout. The emotional weight of everything is starting to settle in. They're alive, but barely. The group shares quiet, vulnerable moments that show the human cost of the violence they've endured, and at the same time, they prepare to keep moving, realizing the mission is far from over. The helicopter extraction is now confirmed. Casper sees the group and jokes, "You bastard, that's what took you so long." The radio confirms the rendezvous and the chopper is close. Lucia briefly lets her guard down emotionally, teasing Jason but also acknowledging his pain and loyalty. Jason admits, "I'm working privately. If I die, it's on me." He has no backup and no safety net. The team, Jason, Lucia, and Henry, are moving toward the extraction point, navigating thick jungle and relying on comms from Olivia and Alvarez, but tension mounts as they're being tracked. As stealth fails, a surprise ambush throws them into another high-stakes encounter with a new threat. Tyler, a dangerous mercenary. Olivia and Alvarez warn them that the two police boats are closing in. The extraction is getting harder by the second. Lucia begins to visibly fray under the pressure but keeps her focus, and the forest is described in gritty detail. Dry leaves, thick brush, branches snapping, all building towards suspense. Jason and Lucia both have moments of doubt and hesitation, but ultimately go full tactical as soon as it's clear that they're compromised. Tyler's grenade signals a shift into a new wave of conflict. Lucia, Jason, and Henry are still on the run, and now they're in the sewers, literally wading through garbage and dead rats to avoid cops and helicopters overhead. Jason is growing weaker, but they keep pushing forward. Meanwhile, tensions rise with Olivia and Casper over comms as the team starts to question who they can really trust. We also get an emotional flashback from Lucia, revealing her long, complicated history with Jason and Casper. Jason admits there's blood all over the sewer. Just call Casper, a clear moment of desperation. Lucia remembers Casper with mixed feelings. Once close friends with Jason, now someone she despises the most. The emotional toll of betrayal is emphasized as Lucia reflects on how Jason and Casper both let her down. Their escape route ends at a rock-covered sewer exit, which they eventually break through with teamwork. A deadly ambush unfolds as Jason and Lucia are attacked by a Haitian gang, leading to a chaotic and violent close-quarters fight. With Jason injured and cornered, Lucia is forced to take the lead. Fending off multiple enemies in brutal hand-to-hand combat, despite overwhelming odds, she kills her way through the attackers. The page ends with the team scrambling back into the escape mode, once again pursued by helicopters and police. Lucia pulls out 2 gas bombs, indicating that they came prepared for close-quarters chaos. The attackers aren't just gangsters, they're coordinated and armed, suggesting a deeper plot behind this. Lucia reflects in frustration about being expected to avoid killing Haitians, even though they're clearly trying to kill her. This alludes to political complications behind her mission. The combat is vicious, slammed heads, broken limbs, knife fights, all rendered into raw physicality. The page loops back to their escape in the sewer, where they are again confronted by a spotlight and megaphone, ordered to stop by police. The trio, Lucia, Jason, and Henry, regroup and continue escaping in the early morning darkness. After sneaking out of the abandoned office, Lucia finds a motorbike and Jason uses a screwdriver to hotwire it and get it running. As they're about to escape, gunmen appear. Chaos breaks out once again as the team is forced into another deadly confrontation, this time with more Haitian fighters. Lucia and Jason find a bike and manage to get it working just in time. Before they can fully escape, they're ambushed by a group of Haitians. 2 men approach from the alley and one is identified by Jason as the same person from earlier who caused trouble. Lucia and Jason hide behind a car and prepare to fight again despite being exhausted and injured. The threat escalates with Jason grabbing a pole. Lucia holds her rifle, preparing for another close-range fight. We slow down here for a highly emotional moment between Lucia, Jason, and Henry. They're hiding out, tending wounds, and wrestling with the physiological toll of everything that's happened. There's no gunfire, no enemies, just the weight of decisions and grief setting in. After patching up their physical wounds, the group is now reckoning with emotional scars. Jason, Lucia, and Henry share a rare moment of quiet, but the weight of the mission, the past, and what lies ahead is palpable. Emotional exhaustion, Jason is out of strength, and even Lucia is burning out. The calm is almost too calm, foreshadowing a storm coming in the near future. Betrayal, with the revelation that Santiago used them, adds a new layer of bitterness. Everything they've suffered may have been for nothing. Trust and trauma, there's a subtle recognition that this trio is all they have left. Lucia especially realizes the system won't protect them, only each other. Lucia, Henry, and Jason arrive at a new safe house, likely one of Casper's places. They're trying to rest and regroup after everything that's happened. It's quiet, but the emotional tension is louder than ever. She needs this kind of warmth, a reminder that survival isn't just about guns and wounds. The aftermath of trauma and loss is sinking in. Lucia tries to maintain a sense sense of normalcy as she checks in on Henry. He's recovering in bed. There's a quiet moment between them that leans into vulnerability, miscommunication, and emotional undercurrents neither are ready to face. Meanwhile, downstairs, Jason is alone, but Lucia's external storm drives her to search for anxiety meds that she's unraveling. Emotional repression and avoidance. Lucia is trying to be strong for everyone, but the moment she's alone, she falls apart. Intimacy and confusion with Henry's question reveals that others around them see the connection between Lucia and Jason, but neither Lucia nor Jason is ready to name or attack it. Trauma and medication. Her searching through pill bottles shows how she's silently suffering. She's terrified of spiraling again. Support and guilt. Jason wants to help, but his mere presence is a trigger, possibly because of how tied he is to the mission, the trauma, and maybe even the ongoing pain. And that is where it ends. That is the official script and summary for all of the first 22 pages of dialogue explaining the first 2 missions that you go on GTA 6's storyline. So there you guys have it. Pretty interesting, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of action and unraveling of past traumas with our new characters that are going to really introduce everything we need to know about them right at the get-go. So there you guys have it. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, my friends.